So this is my new experiment in dyeing today. And I remembered that I had bought this old vintage copper wash tub that was actually used for cleaning clothes. There are boil marks on the bottom where you can see fire had hit the bottom. So I was curious to see if it would still work in the 21st century. And the first question was, would it leak? It does not, and fingers crossed it will continue to not leak. Second thing was, would it get hot enough to actually boil so that I can eco-print something in here? And the answer is yes. Woohoo, it has a boil. But you can see it's got a boil going, so it should be hot enough to do what it needs to do in terms of my eco-printing. So the next stage is bundling something up and popping it in the pot to see how it does. Stay tuned. So stages in botanical printing or eco-printing, I have my materials that I'm going to be dyeing, the fabric, soaking inside and getting ready to be dyed. They have to soak in different kinds of materials for 1 to 24 hours, depending on the size. I've got my dye pot bubbling. Now I need to go and collect plant material that will go on the dye pieces. We had a really big storm last night that went on for several hours and spawned several tornadoes actually. So there's a lot of plant material on the ground ready for the picking, like this for example. Silver maple prints beautifully. So I'm going to collect that in my collector pot, or basket rather, my collector basket. And I'll walk along the path, and if I see anything interesting, I'll tune back in and show you. Stay tuned. I just want to show you this number of wild sunflowers. All of these plants that are scattered on the ground here are all going to be wild sunflowers. Just amazing. Dave planted some winter ground cover to help replenish the soil with nutrients, and he left a little of it back here for me so I can use it for printing. This, on the other hand, is called gamma grass, and it cropped up all on its own. And I've been told that that's a sign of a healthy prairie system. So that makes me really happy that this volunteer gamma grass decided to pop up here and live with us. Here's some staghorn or smooth sumac. It is, or shumac is what they call it around here, but we always called it sumac. This stuff prints beautifully. It has a high tannin count. So I'll bring some of these leaves in for printing. Dave tells me that we got 3 inches of rain last night in the span of just a few hours, so I was pretty sure that our waterfall would be flowing, and I can hear it. We're almost there, and I can show you the waterfall. It's our own little seasonal creek. There's a beautiful specimen out on the path here of some oak. So that one will go in whether we use it in this dye batch or not. That's a beautiful example of offerings from nature after a storm. Here's a bundle of another kind of oak and much smaller leaves, really pretty. So we'll bring those too. The basket's getting filled. This is a gigantic black walnut tree. Black walnuts, bark and leaves and nuts have wonderful printing qualities. So I'm hoping to find some good ones as we walk along here. Some leaves anyway, which, yep, there's some right there. These will be great for printing. Look at them all. So I will walk along here and collect all this black walnut because these leaves are really hard to find once the season gets going. I can get them off the tree, but once they fall down, they degrade pretty quickly. Okay, I've got my sample ready to go into the dye pot and some more onion skins to add. Ooh, this is hot. It's definitely steaming and bubbling. So I'm gonna just dip my wrapped bundle. I opted for Osage orange hedge apple wood. That's what I've wrapped on. Oh, it's floating. That's kind of odd. We'll see if I can get it to sink. And I'm going to add just some handfuls of onion skins for colors. I may have to weight this down if it doesn't keep underneath water. Anyway, here we go. The bundle is in. The water is boiling. The dirty pot is sound, and we'll see what happens. So, we are getting ready to pull the first bundle from this copper pot face full of steam itself as it comes out. I use this really cool iron piece to hold it down in the water. Now it's kind of wrapped onto that piece, so I may have to pull that out too. All right. Well, the outside is nice and black, so that bodes well that there's some color that was conveyed. Now I'll see if I can unwrap it from this middle piece. So this is the some of the rusty metal I'm using to color my dirty pot, as you can see. All right, we're gonna go inside and we will do the reveal. So here we are. I've got my bundle. I tend to not wait at all. I just unroll the thing right away. And so we're gonna pull this whole piece. Dave is kindly doing the videotaping today for this part. Oh, I'm really liking a few of the colors I'm already seeing from here. So this is my test piece before I do my big wool shawl tomorrow. This is just a little piece of satin silk. It's a satin silk scarf that I have. Well, I would say, just looking at this part right here, we've got some good color for sure. Oh, even looks like maybe some purple. Wow. So I did use a resist because I don't like shadowing on my pieces. So I actually have, we're looking at the back side, I think. Yeah. I used these. So I opened it upside down, basically. I used these tea towels so that I wouldn't get shadowing on my piece. Now what we're gonna do is flip it over, open it up, and see what we ended up with. Gosh, I really love the color at the end there. I think we can count this. I gave it a border on purpose. I think this is going to be a success. We've got some onion skins here. This is the smoke bush. I have black walnut, didn't produce too much, actually. That's interesting. It usually does, but these are early leaves, so maybe too early in the season. No, those little ones did. Those might be sumac, actually. That one did not. The onion, of course, our dependable producer. Just peeling off these. Oh, that's actually not a bad color right in there. As I'm looking, you're getting some nice effect. One of the things about eco-printing boiling is that you get this much more textured and muted effect. When I do my steaming with alum mordant, which is really the only mordant I use is alum, because it's really non-toxic. So when I do that, I get a much more photographic effect, but this kind of boiling without a mordant gives you this beautiful muted depth of color. Well, I can definitely say that my copper pot experiment was a success. This has definitely produced color. It's more dramatic on the outside than the inside, which isn't a surprise given this was rolled and steamed for 2.5 hours in the dye pot. And I think we got some really nice colors from a lot of it. I would count this as a success. So here we are with the final result of the test piece from the vintage copper pot. And I have to say, I think that the experiment was a success. There is some just gorgeous depth of color that was produced in the purple and green ranges, which I absolutely love. I think that is the result of the copper. And you can see we've got good, strong print. I think if I had printed this for longer than 2.5 hours, it might have produced a little stronger response with some of the leaves that I just plucked fresh. The black walnut, the sumac. They've got some color, but I think if I had just left it in maybe another half hour, an hour, so I will extend the boiling time today when I do the bigger pieces. But regardless, even with the lighter impressions, I mean, the onion skin did great. And the wrap marks are absolutely stunning. I am really happy with the final result of this piece. And so I have a new dye pot in copper. And I love seeing the different variation you get with copper versus using aluminum. So, all good, hooray.